Welcome back to Let's Play Katawa Shoujo. I'm gonna try to keep this brief. Was with my voice there. It's like 20 past 8 in the morning. I woke up at midnight. Just like sleeping pattern always goes to shit around the weekend. So I'm going to record and try to keep it like brief rather than going for the hour long that I usually do. Because I just want to like, you know, record, edit, because I know that I'll sleep through the day. It's just chaos like that. It's like yesterday, well, yeah, I slept through pretty much most of yesterday. I was like up till around about maybe 11ish in the morning or something, and then I went to sleep and woke up at midnight, and I ended up uploading on my other channel 2 hours later than usual. So if this part gets uploaded later, that would probably be why. But anyways, go to like this one observation I had from the previous part was this: the CG is right here. So if that's the case, and the walkthrough that I've been following points out that if after like completing Lily's route, if we complete all the other routes, that you should have a full CG set by the end of it. So I imagine whatever CG this is probably going to be gotten in this route as well, because other than this, like, the other CGs are obviously Lily's section of the CG thing. Anyways, let's get to the point. We don't have that often around here, do we? Blackout! Well, actually, let's not get straight to the point. Remember how I made playlists for this channel and I've, like, been kind of consistent with, past few uploads, actually, you know, putting them into the playlist, keeping it, you know, up to date and all that. But, I've tried doing that with my other channel. I haven't got it up to date because, like, I'm currently, like, making playlists for LPs that I haven't got playlists for. I started with The Sims 2, which was freaking ridiculous, I gotta say. 216 videos. 150 parts, but because I had lots of parts split into like part 1 of 2 and 2 of 2 and stuff like that, it ends up dragging it out. So that's a freaking ridiculously long amount of videos. But it's not the longest LP I've ever done. I finally got around to on my other channel. I finally made a playlist for After Story after what? Freaking 2-year delay on that? Maybe even longer? So yeah, finally did that. Just like some of you, like, unless you actually came from this channel from my original channel, you just be like, what? You've LP'd Claned? Show me where? It's on the main channel, Blue Skull Dragon 87. Also Canon as well. I haven't actually got around to making a playlist for the Canon LP where I did my own choices. I mean, I've got the Canon LP already, you know, in playlist, which is also another weird thing. The Sims 2 LP. 216 videos in one playlist. When I made the Canon playlist years ago, I could only have 200 videos in it. And the LP is like 250 odd parts, so it's 2 separate playlists for that LP. But nowadays, it seems like that's not the limit anymore. But yeah. And I was like doing other playlists as well, you know, just like going from just like, those Clock Tower ones I didn't make playlists for, the Journey, and then at some point I was like, this is bloody exhausting, I'll do it later or something, because the more I looked at it, the more I was like, my god, I've freaking got so many LPs that I've done that I haven't got playlists for, and some of them are ridiculously long, like, you know, like the Silent Hill games I've LP'd, the Project Zero games I've LP'd, not even a single one of those has a playlist for some reason. I was certain I had at least for one, but no. So I'm trying to like get the old ones into playlist before getting around to the newer ones, like the current ones and all that. So that is kind of like, it'll be there easy. I can just be like, click on that, put it into this playlist instead of having to scroll down and all that. It's just a pain in the ass. But anyways, it takes me a second to remember that Lily's clock doesn't have any visual feedback. I really should know, given how many times I've been in the room. Nevertheless, I take my watch from my bag and quickly check it. The reason for asking becoming clear. It's about 20 past 10, nearly curfew. Hanako rises to her feet, dusting herself off and neatening her gown after doing so.
I'd better be going then. Good night, Lilly and Hisao.
Sleep well, Hanako. See you tomorrow. With that, she walks to the door and quietly makes her exit. Awkward silence. This seems to be happening more and more between Lilly and I. Recently, after a few seconds, I finally find something to talk about. Oh, here's something to talk about. Just like, screw you, Hisao, we're going off subject again. You know, Lost Woods from Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and I'm pretty sure it's appeared in... I think it also had a variation in Twilight Princess, but anyway, you know the one, how it goes. And it's just like, and also Song of Healing from Majora's Mask goes... But this bit, it's the exact same as Lost Woods, only it's backwards. Lost Woods, Song of Healing. Exact same thing! But anyway, the other reason to bring that up is, it goes like this, right? Lost Woods. Played that a bit wrong, but that's how it sounds. It sounds kind of like mysterious but happy sounding. But when I was like, I was messing around with my guitar, and I was like, that sounded like Lost Woods, and it is, but I couldn't remember how it went, and when I played it, it sounded more dark and mysterious. I kind of played it like... Nope. That's a more darker sound to it when you really look at Lost Woods and the actual backstory on, like, the reason why it's called Lost Woods. That's more fitting, really, isn't it? Like, have a kind of darker sound, but it's... Yeah, there's that kind of cheerfulness to it, while when I was playing it was like... I think it's because I am adding in this note, which I think would be the 4th note in the scale, gives a darker feel, even though it's like a major chord, essentially, the note would belong to. But anyways, let's get back to the plot. Oh yeah, I talked to Mutou on Friday and finally checked out some guides in college on how to apply for it. No, I just remembered, and this is actually relevant to the novel, is, did Hisao not freaking check with the nurse about that incident where he woke up with that start that he had? I don't think he has. That's good news. If you're going to be applying for colleges, I assume you have some idea in mind of what you might do in the future. I think I've settled on becoming a science teacher. Of course, just like... Well, it's just, I don't know. It's going to take a while to get through university and everything to qualified, but I think it'll be worth it. You know, spoilers for the end of Shizuna's route, sort of, not really a major spoiler. But at the end of it, he's like, I think he thought, you know what, maybe I'll become a teacher or something. So is that like, just like, that's a reoccurring theme, so, I don't know. Has he ever thought of any other careers in any of the other routes aside from that? Lily's face brightens considerably at the news. I suppose where I wish to become a teacher, she's delighted I take the same kind of path. So you've decided on a career of teaching? I think that path suits you most excellently, Hisao. I smile and nod this time, even if I know she can't see me doing so. I know she feels it. I imagine Mutou would have taken to the news well. That's one word for it. Hey, Lily. Yes. I know you want to be a teacher, but for a second I wonder whether I should really ask her the question on my mind, but that's quickly brushed aside by the fact that this is rather late to have second thoughts. Surely you don't still think I'd be offended by something regarding my blindness? Her accusing tone is betrayed by her grinning face, amused at my openness in raising the topic. Some things never change. Good point, I guess. You know, a little off subject, but sort of on subject, because, remember when she showed her annoyed face when she was getting up? I'm assuming, I'm just like, simply because this seems to be a reoccurring theme that I've noticed a while back, like at some point after recording and editing and all that. I'd realized in all the routes, it seems every character has this one bit about them that each of them have in common. And that is, how to word it. They get really annoyed at the thought of being helped and stuff like that. Like with Hanako, it's like, fuck off, I don't need your help. Spoilers, but every character essentially seems to give off that impression. It's like, I don't need your help. Stop looking down on me, even though he's not, you know. I feel that's probably it with Lilly as well. Just like, doesn't want, refuses help and stuff like that. I'm assuming that's why, because when Kenju is like, hey, let me help you up there, she must be like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if that's the reason or not, but it seems to be a reoccurring theme. It's just like, I don't need your goddamn help kind of attitude. That's kind of that's a common trait in people in general, really, isn't it? Which isn't exactly the best kind of trait, really, is it? It's like, I don't need anyone's help, I can do everything on my own. Because you're gonna need people's help for some things, you know. In fact, you need other people in general, really. I mean, imagine if you were the only person in the world. You'd be fucked. But anyways, I think maybe that's what pissed her off. I don't know. We'll find out eventually, regardless, I imagine. I was just thinking, thinking whether or not being blind would be a hindrance. What with your ambitions to become a teacher and all. She looks mildly surprised before giving the question some thought. I refuse to think she's never actually pondered this issue before. I wonder, Hisao, could you close your eyes for a moment? Okay. Raise an eyebrow, I do as she requests. I have no idea what she has in mind, and my questions only increase as I peek out from one eye. Taking the black ribbon she usually wears in her hair from the cabinet beside her bed, she advances towards me while running it through her fingers to remove any stray hair remaining on the piece of cloth. I suddenly click on to her intentions. I feel the black strip make eye contact with my face, wrapping around my head and over my eyes. Then the story takes a really dark turn. It's just like, she's taking me somewhere. And then she's just like, sleep with the fish as a sound. Just kicks him into a freaking river or something. Like, ah! Well, the sea, really. Because if it's a river, you're just like, wah! Going downstream. What exactly is this for? It's a little test, Hisao. Since you seem to be wondering, I'll let you see things as I do for a time. Huh, so that's what this is about. To be honest, this actually sounds kind of fun. Childish and rather silly to anyone who would be watching, but a bit of silly fun never hurt anyone. Well, it depends, really. Just like, oh, let's do something silly and fun. Let's run into a busy road. It's like, what's the fun in that? I don't know, but isn't it silly? No, that's straight up absolutely stupid, really. Anyway, I stand up with a heave, my hands quickly moving out in front of me to warn me of any obstacles. Okay, now what? Now touch me. If you say so. Oh then. I slowly make my way forwards towards the sound of Lily's voice. My walking speed could barely even be called a shuffle, the entire experience feeling alien enough that I don't want to risk inadvertently tripping over anything, such as her table or her half-assed piles of books. Something soft yet solid brushes against my left leg. Full inspection reveals it to be Lily's bed. I move onwards, find myself thankful that Lily's room is so neat and tidy. Even the piles of books she has are generally kept close to the wall, well out of harm's way. That is a flaw, just like, I never really thought that till just now. Like, Lily gets around just fine, she has the cane and all that, but she gets around just fine overall. But, you know, if you're, like, she's blind all her life, essentially, so she's used to this, but if you ever, like, you know, just like, something as simple as just being in a room that's pitch black, you can't see a damn thing, you're just, like, tripping over everything in sight. So, like, they've obviously got to get used to that, and obviously get much better at that. But then even people that aren't blind are stupid and freaking walk into things, even if it's freaking light. It's usually because they're distracted, though, really, isn't it? Like someone's just like staring at their phone walking down the street, suddenly, oh, lamppost! The hard wall pressing against my outstretched hands makes me furrow my brow in frustration. Hey, Lily, where are you?
What are you doing over there? I'm over here.
Lily's voice comes from the other side of the room, far from where it was before, even to my untrained ears. If she's going out of her way to avoid me reaching her, then is this just a game to her? Of course it is, compared to our life where even the concept of sight is an abstract one. A few minutes in a blindfold or nothing. I guess she's made her point. She's more than capable of navigating her room, and further, I've seen how independent she is even when compared to many of the others in Yamaku. Well, even if this is just a game, I may as well play it wholeheartedly. Her pace much quicker than before I move. That music! It always reminds me of freaking Ocarina of Time. Is it an obi, I think it's called, or however it's pronounced as. I'm assuming that's the instrument, because I was like... Actually, it might have even been last night when I was playing around with the keyboard, or it might have been at some other point, I don't know. But my keyboard has that setting for that instrument, and it really does just sound very Zelda-ish, because that's obviously an instrument they used in the soundtrack. At least, well, probably in all of them, I'd imagine. It's quite a common instrument to use in kind of orchestrated kind of music like that. Anyways, her pace much quicker than before. I moved towards the source of her voice, definitely sidestepping the table in the center of the room thanks to remembering its position. I've got you now! She gives an impish giggle, one just long enough to work out that she's passing just beside me. I quickly turn around to face the new direction. The table wasn't there before! Ow, 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 ow. I slowly sit up next to the table, raising my blindfold as I rub my aching head. I give an irritated kick to the table that's sitting just in front of me, where I fell. Utterly pointless, but the thing deserved it. What? Oh. I was just like, what's Lily's head doing down there? You can't see it, but what I actually saw was my videos in the background on my... on the channel that I'll be uploading this to, my, video manager thing, and I just saw Lily's face at the bottom, and just like, what's she doing under that? Oh, no, it isn't. But isn't it weird, when you, hit something like that, why would you instinctively hit it a second time? It's like, first time's accidental, second time it's out of frustration, then you're just, left going, ow, why did I do that? That hurts. And of course, you've got to blame the inanimate objects. That is the rules. My father, for example, anytime something like that happens, he will, it's quite a common thing for him to say, just like, fucking house. It's like, the house is to blame for everything. Everything that goes wrong, knock something over, it's the house's fault. Not my clumsiness, it was the house that did that. Hisao. Lily is still standing just to my side, obviously unsure of what's befallen me. Sorry, I kind of fell over. Are you hurt? My head hurts, but I think I'm okay. I think the table moved in order to trip me over. She giggles as she walks over and takes a seat beside me, her hand resting on my own. I suppose that makes sense, really. I mean, he's blindfolded, so, without it, he can see everything just fine, but with it, it all comes down to memorizing where everything is then, isn't it? And obviously he hasn't got to that state, so he just end up walking into things. I suppose that's the end of that one, then. Of that, then. I think so. But I also think I get the point. Though I do wish it hadn't involved such a headache. Lily suddenly looks blank. Point? And I return an extraordinarily flat look. That was just for fun. I just thought it might ease you up a little about the subject. You always seem to tiptoe around it, after all. In regard to teaching, sight isn't that important. There are plenty of classes taught by entirely blind teachers, and more than enough resources for me to learn the subject. Speaking of stuff like that, I remember my sister, for some reason, learning sign language. I've mentioned this before. And apparently her teacher was deaf. So yeah, it doesn't really matter if you have a disability like that. You can still teach. I mean, blindness and deafness are different, but it's a similar kind of thing. You lose a sense, and you gotta, make up for it by enhancing another sense. But whatever the case, you can still do shit regardless. It's as simple as that, really. I slump my shoulders and give a snort of amusement. Yeah, I understand. I guess we will both just have to work hard to reach our goals then. What is it? With a little hesitation, Lily pushes forward her chin and closes her eyes in an unmistakable gesture. Another kiss! Wait... To become one! You've got to be kidding me. It's gone into one of those scenes, isn't it? Oh, for time. Only 20 minutes? Well, I did say I was gonna try to keep it brief. This CG has appeared like, what, 3 times now? Let's just save the game. We're still in the same scene, but I got to upload this later today, and I'll probably sleep for most of the day. That's why I'm trying to keep it brief, because I've got to edit it as well, you know. So, I guess I'll see you next time, viewers. Just like, that was it? Only that one scene? Well, at least we got to see a scene. I rambled a bit, but I didn't ramble nearly as much as I usually do. So we did get a bit of plot, you know. Whatever. I'll see you next time, viewers. See you next time.